Well, hello, everybody. As you guys can see, it is November. It's getting a little bit chilly, and we've got quite a nice chunk of money. I've been dealing with some wood. I've got a bunch of stuff here ready to be loaded. These are cut up into sections. I just hauled trees around with the old loader tractor. But I thought I'd get these ones loaded up. I'm not going to do all the timber. I think I'm going to get a wood chipper, and these are all chunks that were under 200 liters that I could just move over here by hand. They're not really worth much as they are, unfortunately. They're only worth, you know, a small chunk of money. And we are to a point where I can actually I'm just gonna hop in the truck, move this forward just enough where I can drop those in. But yeah, they're not really, to me, they're just not worth dealing with. I don't know. Maybe that's just me being silly. I just don't want to deal with I don't want to deal with the tiny timber if I can avoid it. It just, to me, it's painful to try and just get it all to sit in the thing, and it's worth so little that, you know, I might as well just go and purchase the what is it? It's like $13,000, $14,000 wood chipper. Get my hands on that, and then just chip it all. Obviously, I don't know how to do this because there, that's better. But yeah, I just think that it's a lot of extra work driving back and forth all the way to pick up, or I'm sorry, sell off wood. I wound up getting a little market stand that I'm hoping I can put the wood chips directly into, and chip it all right from there, and just drop it all right into the wood chipper. So as you guys can see, this doesn't take too long with this, I think it's called like a log grab. It's basically, it's like a strapped pallet fork type get up that has a strap on it, and you can grab everything all at once. I haven't perfected it, but I've gotten pretty darn good with it. My friend and I have a Alone in the World playthrough that we use this quite a bit, and we've really come to enjoy it. I'm not going to worry so much about the pine. I want to, but I don't want to. You know what I mean? And I've got one final log that I need to put on here. I'm getting tired of working with wood. I need something different than just running them back and forth. That's what it all boils down to, you guys. So yeah, on the Homestead 100, where are we currently? Well, what have we achieved? The only thing we've actually achieved is we've gotten ourselves a farmhouse. That's it. It's the only thing that we can say we have done on this playthrough that it will count towards the end of it. So let's go ahead. We're going to run this down and sell this. I decided that I was building a road. I keep getting frustrated. I didn't make it a big, huge road because that started getting expensive. As you can see, I made it here, and then I'm like, whoa, I am eating through money like crazy. So then I was like, you know what? Let's just make a 2-track. So that's what I did. And so it's not pretty, definitely not pretty, but I think it's going to get the job done. And I tried keeping it somewhat closer to like wooded areas so it didn't like take up big huge chunks of forest. Yeah, still gets a little squirrely. But that's all right. And another thing I did was I leveled this off because, you know, jumping it was just getting tiresome as well. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna run this down. I've got just over $45,000. We're gonna run this down. I have to get some grass equipment, and I thought about, you know, just because we have got a 100 horsepower limit doesn't mean we have to just sit with one tractor. So we're gonna get ourselves a second tractor. Um, the second one will not have front end loader on it. I don't need 2 loader tractors. I don't believe I do, at least. But let's go ahead. Hop out and sell this. All right, so just over 11,500, which should be plenty for what I want to do next with getting another tractor and some grass equipment. So let's go ahead, take a peek. That's actually a good deal, but you know, at the end of the day, I don't really need that. Okay, so let's go ahead and look for a mower. Actually, let's start with the tractor because that's the exciting thing. Actually, you know what? No, let's do this as I had said. Start with a mower. That's not exciting at all. So this one's 3.4, 3.2, requires 50 horse. This requires 60. It's 4.3 meters. It's kind of expensive though. That's 3.1, requires, how much was this one up here? It's 3.2, requires 50, it's 12 grand. So the disco seems to be a good deal. I like the Kuhn though. They're nice ones. The lizard isn't bad, but it's more expensive, so I don't see the point in doing that. McHale is another one that's actually a pretty decent deal at 10,500. The Oliver conditioner, it just seems too cheap. It's one of those, you'll regret it. I don't need a regret it option. So I think with our setup, let's go with a McHale. It's 3 meters. All right. Then we're going to need a tedder. Actually, I think I want to get the Oliver rake tedder. I had thought about just going with this lizard and just, making grass. But I'm just going to go with the tedder instead. I feel like it's just as good of an option. Attacher type, toolbar. Is there an attacher on there? Oh, it does have a rear attacher. Cool. Yeah, I like that. And finally, we need something to pick up the grass. Now, I was like, oh, I'll just get a baler, but if I'm going to ted it, then I think I'm going to pick it up with this guy here. And what colors do I have options on? I like this green. Yeah, I do. Let's go ahead and now I prefer the hub color, so let's see. It's ivory. I don't think ivory's an option. It's not. That's close. Let's go with that. All right. Cover. I don't know what that does. Okay. Decals. Main decals. All. Yeah, I want all of them. Oh, double axle. Nice. I like double axle. Yeah, I like dual axle, tandem. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's buy that. All right, now we're sitting on $1,000. I bought the 3 things I have to have for this. So let's go ahead buy our next item, which is going to be a second tractor. Now, I'm going with a Kramer and going with 100 horse. I want the Michelin tires with wide. This is the only, I don't want to, obviously I can't have a cab, so we're just going to go with the security. Extras, I want front hookup, no on the front attacher. Now let's figure out our colors. So I'm going to go with the Kramer green, the old Kramer green. And on the chassis, I'm going to go with the Kramer gray. Yeah, I like that right there. Now, I couldn't get wheel weights. I could, if I wanted, go duals, which gives me an extra half a ton of weight, but I think this is going to be good enough. So let's go ahead and buy that for 24,000. Now the other thing I want to buy, but I'm not going to be able to haul it down, but while I have the money, is a, where is he? If I go into wood chippers, that's 13,300. Main color is black. You know what? Let's try and make it green. Yeah, it's ugly. I like that. Let's go ahead. We'll buy that. All right, now we're down to 2,800. Let's jump into the truck and let's see if we can't get someone to head them back up. Of course, I gotta save. And let's see if we can't get them to drive up there. No, they won't. Now we're gonna get him to drive up to the, I'm just gonna drive him up and then I'll head back down to the wherever the shop is. Obviously I'm gonna use quick tab over. But yeah. And I didn't have to make this hug the woodland, but I wanted to because it seemed more more logical to not eat up all this open farmland with a road cutting through it all. Now the next thing I'm going to want to buy is I do need a wood chipper. Or no, I'm sorry, not wood chipper, but a stump grinder. And I do know that I could use lumberjack, make it all happen. And I did do that along the edges, but I didn't want to continue to do that, I guess. So the next thing I'm going to grab while I'm here is I want to go ahead and, I don't know if I have this in there or not. If I don't, not the end of the world, but I was hoping I did. I am looking for the haystack that actually makes silage, but because I'm going to TED all of my stuff, it's just going to be a haystack, nothing more. But I want the brown one, not the green one. That's the one I want. It's a little bit more expensive, but that's fine because, like I said, I want I want it to be a little bit more expensive. Let's go ahead and place that right there. All right, let's see what all we got here. I'm not sure if this is actually going to hook to the back. It may not. I know I can't operate them at the same time because, oh, it does hook to the back. Cool. It wouldn't pick it up because it's going to push the grass or hay off to the side. Oops. There we go. And we'll just go ahead and fold it up. So this is not going to be anything that's fast. It's unfortunate, but it's not a fast moving tractor. But I don't have any intentions of this tractor leaving the farm. Going forward. But it has working lights, which the Allis-Chalmers does not. So if I'm doing anything off camera and I want to have it with working lights, I can do that. But it's just going to be a workhorse on the farm. I'm going to need to get some way of having fuel out on the farm. And I mean, I could probably get jerry cans. But I don't know. Maybe I will while I'm driving. Let's see how much it is. 5,300. Is that the cheapest one? 2,500. So 2,500 is the cheapest one that I see. I mean, I'm not going to get a gas station. That's ridiculous. Okay, so $1,000 with a lid, that might be the one to go with. 1,500. I'm not seeing anything cheaper than that. So, I mean, that's probably what direction we'll go in. Something that's in the range of $1,500. I like the one with a roof. It kind of gives it that, you know, it's a piece of crap, but you're trying to protect your piece of crap sort of vibe. And we can also get a small workshop as well. So I might do something like that and put the fuel tank inside of the workshop. I don't have that kind of money right now, but I feel like once we have animals, we should have some sort of water thing there, so that's also going to be something we're going to need to add to our farm. And like I was saying previously, I don't want to, I'm going to get past the rain while we're driving. I don't want to get to a point where it's like everything's done because we've hit the criteria. All right, that's not what I want. I don't want to have, you know, I don't want to get to that point where we are simply, you know, buying 100 chickens and 100 goats or sheep just because that's our last thing to fulfill. I would like to get my goats this fall. Maybe not November, but I would like to get some goats or sheep, whichever. Actually, I'm thinking sheep. Goat's milk sells and produces quite quickly. So, plus, I feel like sheep would be more inclined to survive in rougher outdoor elements. So that's kind of why I'm considering those as my option. But I thought, you know, we're up here. We could just go ahead and unhook him, lower him, unhook him, and I can probably go ahead and cut my grass. And I'm not using GPS or anything like that right now. I don't need to. It doesn't make a lot of sense to do so. I could, if I wanted to, increase the size of my field, and I might, but before I increase the size of a grass field, I thought I should also maybe just consider the fact that I have to have a place for my goats and my chickens or sheep, whichever I decide. But I think I already said I was going to go with sheep because, you know, they can survive the winter better. This is actually working really, really well, you guys. I don't use the Mikhail equipment often, so I feel like, you know, this gave me the ideal opportunity, and it's nice equipment. And I also just don't want to continuously take out all of my my trees if I can avoid it. You know, the amount of trees that we've eliminated already is quite staggering. And you know, anybody removing that amount of trees on a small scale farm should start concerning themselves with soil erosion and things like that. So if I'm going to try and keep any sort of realism, I want to kind of move away from all the timber work. Not entirely, because, you know, you're still gonna, you know, they still have to clear off for land and tillable land, you have to clear off some trees, but I don't want to just clear cut my entire property. Sorry if you guys hear a bunch of background noise. Kid turned the TV on while I'm recording, so I do apologize for that. We are making good progress here. We'll have this finished up in no time, and I'm not going to worry about every little tiny piece of grass that needs to be mowed. Normally I would, because I have OCD and it would bother me, and it does bother me. Absolutely hate missing grass, or anything for that matter, in a field. But I'm trying to train my brain that the fuel cost will never be recovered to back up and go back to get it. So I've got to, like I said, I've got to retrain my brain and stop trying to get every last tiny bit of everything, because in the real world, you'd never go back for that little bit of grass you see to the left. You'd never go back for that. The only way you would go back and hit that little bit up is if you were already heading in that direction, like I am going that way right now, so I might get it when I turn around. And that would be the only reason to really concern myself with it. And I'm gonna get this bit, and because I'm right next to it, I'll probably swing around and get the rest. It's not a lot. It's only this I would go back for. It's not, if I was doing square bales, like small square bales, that would actually probably constitute a full bale. I'm not going to go back for that little bit off to the left or along the edge. It's not worth it to me. And let's go ahead, back this up. And drop him off. We'll pick up our rake. I'm sorry, this is our tedder, but our tedder does windrow, so it's one of the reasons I went with it. It's one less implement. Yeah. We'll do what we would call a double windrow, which in the farming world, double windrow, if you're not truly familiar, is when you go up, you make your first windrow, and then you come back the other direction and pull even more. in the other way. And if I can get turned in here, I just need to, I want to get myself turned this way. All right. So I'll show you guys exactly what I was talking about. So we come up this way and we have our first windrow, and then we take this direction and we do a second windrow. And you've doubled the size of your windrow, and the reason that they do that is so that they have to make fewer passes when baling or whatever method they're using to pick up their grass. It's just fewer passes they have to make because they got to go over it with the windrow anyways, or the tedder anyhow. And in this case, I'm doing both at the same time. So we're already going to make that pass. May as well make it with the intention of doing less work on another step of the process, and that step will be our pickup. And we're just clearing this up right now. Alright, let's go ahead and get that knocked down. I'm sorry, not knocked down. Drop the tedder back down. And I think I just have a tiny amount left. Yeah. And just like that, we have this whole thing windrowed and tedded. Pretty happy about that. Not sure where to park this, guys. Probably just for now. I'm gonna park it like here. That way I can get started on picking up the grass. Alright, we gotta open that. Now we can just turn it on and start picking up the grass. I don't know how quickly we will fill this. That is something I'm just not certain about. I don't know how many liters of grass we'll actually get. I'm hoping for about 15,000 liters, but we'll have to wait and see because we can't make that prediction yet. It's not a big field of grass at all. But, you know, we're making progress. And that's the main thing, is just continuous progress. And we're almost to our first 10,000 liters, you guys. I'll need to get a different wagon to offload the stack, which is fine. I don't need to have anything. I don't have to have anything crazy fancy. We got our final 2 passes here, and after that, obviously, you guys, my focus will be getting some utility stuff out here, such as, you know, fuel, water, and maybe a workshop, so that I can alter things if I need to or repair them as needed. I think that would be money well spent. And it looks like we are going to get 15,000 liters, and in fact we're going to get close to 17,000 liters. Nope, just over 17,000 liters, you guys. I cannot complain about that at all. And I guess what we'll do is we will fold this guy up. It doesn't look like much because it's not. All right, there you guys go. So as you can see, I had to start dressing for warmer weather or colder weather. So I have a sweatshirt, a beanie on, long pants. So we got that covered. But I think what I'll do is end this episode here. I'm going to go off camera, go pick up my wood chipper and bring that back. I want to clean up this mess and maybe earn enough money to possibly buy a stump grinder and a trailer. I need both of those items, so they're on my list. And once I get the stumps cleared out, I might even start looking to put in a enclosure for sheep. So I want to say thank you guys for watching. As always, have a very safe day, and please do not eat the yellow snow. It is not lemon flavored. We will catch you guys next time. This is Graybeard Gaming. Thanks for watching, guys.